Today we're going to take this melody and we're going to harmonize it to make it sound like this. First of all, we're going to add a chord for each bar. So this is one bar, another bar, another bar, or another bar. To add the chords to each bar, we need to just look at what the notes are inside each bar. Here we have a C, a D, an E, and a C. So I'm going to add all those notes and I'm going to put them together. So we have a C, a D, and an E. So we need to look for thirds, and here obviously between C and D there is a second, between D and E there is a second, but between C and E there is a third. So I eliminate D, so I only have a third. We know that this is a C major scale. It's a melody that starts from C and finishes with C. It's more likely to be a C major scale based melody, especially there are no sharp or flats in here. So we look at the scale with all the degrees on it, as we can see here. Now we need to find one or more chords that have a C and an E, as you can see here, C and E. So one of them can be the actual C major, so the tonic. There is one note missing to make the C major, which is going to be G. So there we have a C major chord. I could also with C and E build, as you can see here, an A minor chord, which is here, the 6th degree. So I could start with a 6th degree, but that's going to make things more complicated. This is A, C, and E. So this is a 6th degree, but we're going to start with the 1st degree because it makes more sense. Okay, now on the second bar we have here that the notes that we have are F, G, A, F. We're going to write all the notes there and try to find thirds. So we have an F, we have a G, and we have an A, and nothing else. Here we have a second, and here we have another second, but here we have a third. We're going to go for the third form there. So we have a third here. So with this we can find, according to our table that we see here, the only chords that have F and A are the 2nd degree, which is here, and the 4th degree, which is here. For simplicity, because they are the 4th degree is more common use at the beginning, we're going to go for the 4th one. So I'm going to add an A, which is missing in this chord. Here we have a G, A, and B. So I'm going to write down those notes and try to find thirds there. So it's going to be G, A, and B. Obviously we have that is a third is being formed between G and B, so we're going to eliminate this one. So what will happen here is that these notes I am eliminating, like this one, and this one, they are passage notes. They are part of a melody, but it's just connecting important notes of the chord, the acting chord, of connecting one important note to the other. For example, from G to B. Okay, so here we have two possibilities. According to our table of chords, we can put a third degree or we can put a fifth degree. Because it's the most common to start studying harmony, we're going to use the fifth degree. To use the fifth degree, we are missing a D here, so we're going to add a D to this chord. Now the last chord that we're going to use, we have only a C here. So what chords can it be? I can use many chords. I can use the first degree, the fourth degree, the sixth degree, but because we want to keep things simple, we're just going to use the first degree, which is C. So we're going to do here, we're just going to create a C major. So now we have the main structure of the harmonization, and we're going to listen to it. Now that we have the chords, we're just going to put the name of the degree, as you can see here, first, fourth, fifth, and first again, and with Roman numerals. So we're not talking about C major, F major, G major here. We're talking about functions. Instead of talking about the actual chord, it's a relationship between the chords rather than the actual name of a chord. So here we have the first, the fourth, the fifth, and the first degree. Now I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to add a bass to it. To do that, I'm going to choose the main note of each chord, and I'm going to put it on the bass. The main note here is C, so I'm going to put a C in the bass here, and here the main note here is an F. I could put it here or I can put it here, but well, in order to make it going in opposite direction, which is something that we need to consider when we harmonize something, try sometimes to go in opposite direction. Don't take all the voices go in the same direction. So here this chord is going up at the moment. Later we're going to change it, but we're going to make the bass go down. Then this is going up, and then the final chord, which is a C major here, the main note is C, so I'm going to go back to C here. And now we have the bass on the harmonization we have so far. Let's listen to how it sounds. Now we're going to improve the voicing. Okay, here we have that all the voices are moving in parallel here. Every single note is moving 1/4 up. Then here we have that all the voices are moving 1/2 up, and then all the voices are moving 1/5 down. This is really ugly in harmony. We need to try to get some notes, common notes, to stay in the same place. We need to find a way to make that the voices move in an opposite direction and things like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this C here and we're going to move it down here. That is going to make that this is a common note, which is very important in harmony. We need to find the way that this voice stays in the same note, or any voice, if you have a chance, we keep it repeating the same note. So we have changed chords here, but these two chords have one note in common, which is C. This is a very good practice in harmony. Now, by doing that, this note now is moving 1/2 up. So it's what we call in a harmony conjunct movement, and it's moving just a little bit up and this one a little bit up, which is very interesting. This voice stays, this voice moves down, which is the bass, and then the other two voices move up. Very, very efficient in harmony when we have contrary motion regarding to the bass, so the bass is moving in contrary motion to the other ones, and one of the voices stay in the same place. Very efficient from the harmonical point of view. Okay, now if we got that this voice here is moving up there, in order to avoid that jump of fourth, I'm going to drop this D down here. Now see what happened. Everything is moving in parallel. Look at this. That moves up 1 second, that moves up 1 second, that moves up 1 second, the second. Really, this is not going to be very efficient. So what I need to do is I need to drop this down here. And now I got that. The top melody of the piano going down and the bass is going up, so that is very efficient. This one jumps just a third, which is not bad, and this one goes down a second, which is quite good. Okay, from here to here we have a common note, G and G. This is a fifth, the dominant, going to the tonic, and we have that one of the notes is common, which is very good, harmonically speaking. Then we have this one goes up a second, this one goes up a second too, and this one jumps to the fourth. Now, to make it even more efficient, I'm going to drop that bass to the bottom here, just to make sure that two voices here are going up and the bass is going the opposite direction. And this is even better because the top melody, the main melody that we're trying to work with, is going that way and that way. Okay, let's listen how this sounds. Next step, we're going to add some inversion. We're only going to take this chord and we're going to invert it. What is inversion? We call inversion when the bass, instead of being on the main note of a chord, like for example, this is a fourth degree. The main note of a chord, in this case F major, is F, and we have it here on the bass. We have the same situation on all the other chords. In all these cases, because the bass is placed on the main note of each chord and the fundamental of each chord, we call this root position. These are root position. Now, if I change, for example, that, and instead of placing the bass on F, I place it in A, like this, then we will have an inversion. So this is represented in this way, with the sixth there, representing that the bass is in the third of the chord. So this is F, A, C. So the bass is on A. So we made our first inversion here, and let's see how it sounds. Now we're going to add some more rhythm to this example, and first of all we're going to consider that this is a 3/4 because I can fit 3 crotchets or quarter notes per bar or equivalent to that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a chord to each third beat. Here, here and here. I'm not going to add one here because this is the end of the song or the phrase. Now we're going to convert all this into minims and I'm going to add the third beat. After adding the third beat, I'm just repeated whatever I have here, and this should sound okay, but it wouldn't have too much imagination. It wouldn't be very attractive. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to develop a line for the bass. So the bass is doing C, C, F. I'm going to move to an E here, and to go into an F. Here in this instance, I'm going to go, instead of staying in the same chord, I'm going to go to a second degree to experiment a bit, because second degree goes very well traveling to the fifth degree, which is here. Now this is going to G, and from G goes to C. The problem I see with this is this repetition might not sound very good, so I'm going to go low here, and then the bass is going to jump an octave, which is okay, and then it's going to go down back to the fundamental of a tonic. So what I created here is a rather independent bass that is not trying to follow the main melody. That makes this more attractive. Now that we have the bass, and obviously we have the melody, we're going to work on the inner voices. So here from the start we have 3 C's. I'm going to start eliminating notes here. So if I have 3 C's, I can eliminate one of them, and obviously I'm going to eliminate the less important one, which is this one here. Then here I have an E here, an E here, and an E here. I'm going to eliminate the E here. Here I have an F, F, F. I'm going to eliminate one of the F's. Here I need to change that C, because C is not part of our new second degree. I need to just make sure that I know clearly that this is the second degree. I also need to point out that here we have changed the position of a bass. Here the bass is in the fundamental, so it's in a root position. Here we have changed this into a first inversion, so the first degree is in the first inversion. I'm going to indicate that with a 6, a little 6 on the bottom of the Roman numeral. Now we said that we are here on the second degree, and that C there is not part of a second degree. The second degree in the C major scale is D minor, and C is not part of C of D minor. So I'm going to put this here on D, and since I have an A here and I have too many notes, I try to be consistent. 2 notes, 2 notes, 2 notes, 2 notes. I can put some more notes at the end, but I had to try to be consistent in the number of notes I'm using all along. So here I need to eliminate 1 note, and I think I'm going to go for the A, which is already here in the melody. So I'm going to eliminate the A. And here I have that this is going to a G, G, G. No doubt that we should eliminate a G here. And you see how the voices are moving. This is going down a third, this is going down a fifth, and this is going up. So the directions are doing well. I'm going to now here create from this G, I'm going to add a seventh. A seventh, which makes very, very powerful a fifth degree. The fifth degree is the dominant. If I on top of it add a seventh to it, it's going to sound very powerful. So now we have a seventh, but I have a B here and a B here. I'm going to eliminate it, and the basis that the B here is the leading note, and I don't want two leading notes going to the same place. I'm going to eliminate this B so we don't have the leading note double. Now we're going to eliminate this G or drop it down here, and the reason why I'm dropping it here is because the distance between this note, which is a C, and this other C is 2 octaves. It's okay to have a certain distance between the bass and the next note, but this is just too much, 2 octaves, so I'm going to put a G here to fill the gap, and now the gap is much smaller. By dropping the G, we also make sure that we resolve the seventh. That means that when we have a 7, we have to resolve it by going down to the third of the tonic. Let's see how this sounds. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification button, like the video and comment. I see you next time.